everyone, welcome to Tea Talks. I know it's been a while, but we are back at another episode of Tea Talks. I'm Tibia, your host, and as usual, I speak to inspiring people, my friends, anyone who have an inspiring story to share with us. On that note, today we are meeting a friend, a very good friend, and he has about 20 years of experience in the media, and he's none other than the CEO of NTV7. Let's welcome Seelan Paul. Hello.
Thank you
Hi,
for having me on Tea Talks.
my pleasure, truly my pleasure. How are you?
I'm good. It's a good start for 2023, especially being on your show. Thank you.
It's truly my pleasure, trust me. I interviewed Asilan, I think last year, July, on a conference. So we were both on a panel section. I was a moderator, and I had the pleasure of interviewing, having a chat with you. It was my first encounter with you. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good session indeed. Yeah.
Yes, back again. So I see behind you that's Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah.
Huge fan of Steve Jobs.
Sorry.
Huge fan of Steve Jobs.
I'm actually a fan of inspiring quotes and such,
Okay.
and of course, leaders. So I think Steve Jobs is one of them. I like to be reminded. Therefore, I always read quotes, read articles. I'm not a book reader, so yes, Steve Jobs is one of those who I actually fancy and follow.
All right. What's Steve Jobs, favorite quote that you'll remember, like right in the minute right now?
Oh man, you put me in a spot. Um, but I think one of the things that he highlights, or it was told to me by my previous mentor, or my previous boss, actually, not previous mentor, was that how he is very fussy about presentation. He's a perfectionist,
Okay.
and he says the best way to do presentation is practice,
Mm-hmm.
practice,
Mm-hmm.
practice. So that how he gets his presentation really, really right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I always try to tell myself, that in whatever that we do, it's about practice, practice, and practice.
Nice. Okay. But to begin with, right, just a quick glimpse to the viewers is that Seelan is the CEO of NTV7, which is the D-Day TV right now. But previously, when I say 20 years of experience, there's a vast experience in the radio industry. So please run us through just a quick intro of your background, where how you got this far in the media.
I had a interesting journey actually, since I graduated. Just like a lot of people, I did a different degree, but I ended up following my passion for media. So I was supposed to be a teacher,
So which degree did you do?
uh, I think everybody will be surprised. I'm supposed to be a PJ teacher, Pendidikan Jasmani. So I
Right.
did a Bachelor Pendidikan Jasmani,
Mm-hmm.
um, minoring in health in University Putra, Malaysia.
Okay.
Um, had a fantastic time doing the degree. That's another passion of mine, sports. But I had another passion, which is media when I was growing up. So when I graduated, I
So
was
how you know that media is your passion when you grew up?
um, I think it's something like how we spoke offline a bit. Since I
Okay.
was small, I fancy radio. Music was a big driver. I had a very tough childhood, very tough upbringing. So music always tends to be my escapism apart from sports. And I always loved listening to radio at that point of time. So when I was growing up, it was American Top 40 with Casey Kasem. I'm sure a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people my age will remember, not your age. And
Okay.
then slowly, I was listening to, at that point of time, you listen to Patrick Teo, then you listen to Fly Guy. So I always had that passion for radio and music. And after I graduated, I was very blessed. I got an opportunity to go for an audition
Mm-hmm.
for a Malay radio station. And at that point, Kutsia Kaha, who was the manager of the radio station, had a vision of having non-Malays to be on a Malay radio station.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I did well during the audition, and she gave me an opportunity, and that basically changed my life. So I started out being on-air presenter on
Mhm.
Era, pioneer on-air
Yeah,
presenter.
I also read a bit about you that you were also a presenter, and yeah, that's pretty interesting.
So that was 25 years ago. Had a good time being a presenter, but after a year or two, I realized that I think my strength will be behind the scene, not a frontliner.
Mm-hmm.
And I started moving into behind the scene as a producer
Mm-hmm.
for a breakfast radio show, and then a few years after that, I became a radio channel manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a big leap when Ahmad Izam, my previous boss, gave me an opportunity to set up a radio station in Media Prima in
Mm-hmm.
2005.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my management career started in corporate Media Prima. And over years, I just took learning and took opportunities to be part of management, and ended up being the CEO of Media Prima Radio, helming four radio station. During that time, we also had a lot of initiative in terms of digital communities, e-commerce platform, had some exposure in TV for 3 years, and now for the past year and a half, I'm back to TV for now,
Mm-hmm.
looking at NTV7 and specifically D-Date TV. So that's in a nutshell my career
Oh,
in the past 20 plus years.
like you have traveled to every area just to
Yeah,
explore, right?
in
That's
a way, yeah.
yes, so that's interesting. But I would say that right now where you are at, right? To be very honest, I also call you boss sometimes. So I always want to know the kind of leader, the kind of boss that you want to be. Because when I look at you, you inspire me a lot in terms of how I should be a good leader. Because you don't only look at career wise, you also advise everyone in terms of their personal growth, self growth, so that it really inspires me because I personally feel that self growth is very important. So, what kind of leader or boss you aspire to be?
Thank you for your kind words, Divya. I think it's the teacher in me that brings out that
Right.
thing of trying to help and guide people and such. I'm glad for that. What kind of leader I aspire to be? To be honest, I'm a work in progress still, even though I know you said 20 years of experience and such. But I believe in continuous learning. I know I have area of strength as a leader, but I also have area of growth as a leader, and that's something that I focus on. I want to be like, if you ask me, what do you aspire? I think it's not easy, but I want to try to be someone that's like uh, very data analytical person, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, someone who is creative and showcases empathy. So
Try
how
to
do you
balance.
yeah, how do you infuse both? I used to have two really good mentors. One is my ex-boss, Ahmad Izam Omar. I think he's one of very renowned person in the industry. So he's my creative and someone who showcases empathy and such. And then the other one is I used to have a consultant from Australia. His name is George Bushman.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is sort of like my very business, very strategic corporate person. So I learn from both of them, and I try to integrate both and try to be a leader that has both. But it's not easy. At times, I make mistakes as a leader, but I learn from that, and that's why I say it's a continuous learning
Work
process.
in process. Right. But along the way, before becoming a leader, a boss, or even, you said 25 years ago, you started hosting, radio announcing and all. And I also read that you tried acting. So probably can share a bit about that.
Well, when I joined media, I told myself is I need to try everything,
Mm.
uh, take things up as a challenge, experience things, and then you would know how is it and such. So of course, I loved music and radio. Hence, I tried it, and then I realized I love behind the scene. But while doing radio at that point of time, I had opportunity to act. I think I acted in 4 local movies,
Wow.
very very small roles. Uh, but then it was exciting. I was very lucky to have that kind of opportunity. But
Mhm.
after doing all the 4 movies, I realized that that's not going to be an industry that I want to be in, because one, I'm not as talented as people are to be in front of the screen. Two, I hate the waiting game. It takes a
Oh,
long time before you do your scene
yeah,
and
yeah,
such.
yeah.
But it was good that I tried, so at least I know. Good experience, good way of expanding your network at the same time.
Moving on, um, it's 2023, so what's 2023 for you? But by the way, viewers, Seelan is a huge fan of Liverpool, so we'll talk about Liverpool a bit later. So, what's 2023 for you?
Okay. I always see us every year on trying to be a better version of ourselves. So I don't really have a resolution or such. So uh, I cluster myself into certain areas, and how can I be a better version of in those areas. So as a father,
Mm,
as a colleague in the office, uh, and of course personally, there are certain things that I want to be better at, because I think the whole journey of our life uh, is trying, yeah, like how you said earlier, is knowing who we are and trying to see how we can actually be better,
mhm,
because it's not easy. The world is very challenging, and we are, after all, human. We are not perfect. Um, Therefore, I just tell myself, okay, how can I be better in this area? So let's say by end of the year, there are certain things I did better, certain things I didn't do that well. So the next year would be, then how can I be better version again? It's like your iOS, Apple,
mhm.
or your Android. You upgrade,
Great.
upgrade, upgrade. It's a continuous process. It will never end.
Okay. All right. I would say that 2023 is, as the moment I entered 2023, I wanted to make a lot of career decision, which I was, very unsure of. And we had a chat offline, and that kind of gave me a huge record of what I was thinking ever since New Year started.
Actually, you don't have to wait for the new year to start to make
Yeah.
decisions and changes. I guess you just need to take a step back, review what you want to do and such, and then try, work hard, give your best, and then take a step back, review, and then do again.
Mm-mm.
That's
But
the best that we can do, I guess.
speaking about having a chat with you right just now, when I had a chat with you online, things got a bit more clearer, and because you exactly thought what I was also thinking, so it's definitely a sign. But I wanted to ask, how important is it to have a mentor, to actually listen to someone, take an advice from someone?
Well, I guess everybody has their opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because when you share what your passion, what your passion is, and what you have done in the past few years and such, I sort of like can connect the dots. But I think everyone will have differing opinion, because everyone is coming from a different background
Yeah.
of their life and such. But ultimately, it's about you taking those opinions and then looking at yourself, because you know yourself far more better than anyone, and then for you to do that assessment and make that decision on what you want to do moving forward.
Mm-mm.
And like I said, if you make a decision, you do something, suddenly you realize this is not it, it's okay, you take a step back and then you maneuver again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the road. A lot of people think that is the end of the road, and I understand why, because it's about life, it's about financials and such. It's not easy, but we are such a amazing creature where we will learn to survive, and we will do
Yeah.
what's necessary to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Right. So let's talk about Liverpool, right?
Oh yes.
What is happening?
I guess just like any other team or any other business, there will always be ups and downs. And I
Yeah.
guess for me, the way I summarize the season is sort of like a transitioning period for Liverpool. You got a big age gap in terms of talents. It's an aging squad, but you can see Klopp and the Liverpool management is bringing some new, fresh
Mm-hmm.
players in at the same time. So it will take time because it's a business. We are unable to spend in world class star and bring people in like City does and such. So there is a phase or a time where you need to develop the players. So
Mm-hmm.
you might struggle in a season and such. I foresee some of these young players will step up and play better in the next season.
Mm.
But at the same time, I think next summer we do need to buy some really strong players. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have
Yes.
Jude Bellingham
Oh
in,
my
but
God, I was about
rumors,
to ask you, is
yeah,
he coming to Liverpool? What do you think?
looks. I mean, based on whatever I read on Twitter, it looks like he's going to go to Real Madrid, but
Yeah,
not sure. Hoping that Henderson can convince him in terms of players to player. But I guess ultimately it's about money, whether we can spend that much money and such. So I think league is out of the question. I think we just need to get a Champions League spot this
mhm,
season. But hoping that at least one of the cups we can do well, maybe FA Cup or Champions League.
mhm.
We tend to have a good history in Champions League, but the next match is against Real Madrid,
Yeah,
so
I'm
it's going to
like
be a tough
every
one.
single time. Okay, lah, let's see lah how they do. But what do you think about Nunes though?
Um,
The opinion that
it's
I
it's
have about him
yeah.
is that we all, expected him to perform. Yes, definitely. But he's also young. He's also new to this Premier League and all. But I feel like his performance, he's also exploring, yes, but a lot of the times he cannot be on his own. He needs support in the strike side, So, what do you think about Nunes?
Oh, I think Nunes is in a tough season because he's going to be compared to Haaland. Because
Yeah,
Haaland came in at the same time, Nunes, we paid a
a
huge
lot of
amount of money.
expectations on him.
Yeah, the expectation is he will be delivering what Haaland is delivering. It's
Mm,
just that he's in two different teams, not trying to back him up. I think he can be better. But I can see that he's improving. He's just that confidence of finishing. I think you just needs to break that mentally, and
mhm.
once he does, I think he will continue to be a really good goal
Correct.
scorer.
Mhm.
But in the last few matches, you can see he's doing some really good runs, some
Mhm.
really good assists. I guess it's a matter of time.
Mm.
Hopefully, they will bounce back from the last game with Brentford, and they'll be able to. I mean, he will be able to convert his chances into goals.
Right. I think Arsenal last down. They're really on the top.
Yeah, I think Arteta did a good job. It took him some time, also a whole season to, I think, take out some prima donnas out, bring youngsters,
Mm.
his belief in youngsters and the
Mhm.
way to play. I think he had the club management to back him up, and then slowly the fans can see. I think they're having a good season. I personally think that they will win the league,
Yes.
and I think they fully deserve to do
Yes.
so.
So this has been fun. Thank you so much. This is why I always love inviting guests who also love football. So we can have a chat towards the end. Right. So thank you so much, Seelan, for coming on board and being very kind and sharing your story and also advising to youngsters out there regards to pursuing it, their passion and pursuing it with courage, of course. And thank you so much for coming on board. My pleasure to have you on Tea Talks. Anything else you'd like to add?
Firstly, thank you very much for having me on TikTok, Stevia. It's nice to have a chat, speak up things to the youngsters and such. So I appreciate that. I think not much. I would say take one day at a time, everybody. Enjoy, do what you love, be with the people that you love. Surround yourself with positivity because there's a lot of negativity and toxicity outside there, especially with social media and such. Know that you are loved. Um, um, sometimes things are a bit more difficult and hard. But after the whole night, there will always be dawn.
Mhm.
So whatever we go through, we will always come back, and we'll be okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
No
And
problem.
come again.
No, no problem. Thank you.
All right. So if you like to get to know more about Seelan, or if you like to reach out to him, I'll drop his email in the description, and you can have a chat with him if you also want any advice from him or what, anything you'd like to speak with him. And thank you so much, Seelan. It's been a pleasure. And viewers, please stay tuned, and we have more upcoming episodes featuring my friends, people who I look up to and inspire me a lot. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back. Thank you.
Bye.